CTV News with Angela Mackenzie.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Quebec has tabled a bill aimed at protecting women from intimate partner violence. It is named after Gabie Renaud, who was murdered last September. Bill 4 would allow women to find out whether their partner has a history of violence and to be able to get help. Sweeta Rassi has the details.
For Rachel Renaud, it was an emotional day.
We will remember her forever.
Her sister, Gabie Renaud, was found dead in her Saint Jérôme apartment last September. Gabie's partner, who has a history of violence, has been charged with the murder. Standing beside Rachel is Nancy Boucher. She too was a victim of intimate partner violence by the same person, who did spend 3 years in prison. They've been calling for better protection. And today, the CAQ government officially tabled Bill 4. It allows anyone in a relationship who is fearing for their safety to request information from the SQ on their partners and even ex-partners' history of violence. It also allows a parent to access information on behalf of their child who is at risk.
We want to be careful because it's not the confirmation that the partner is the right partner for you. We're just saying that we've been looking into it and we're sharing the criminal background.
Here's how it would work. The person at risk or the parent can fill out a form online or at a police station. That application will be reviewed by provincial police, who will gather relevant information. They will then share that with a support organization, who will then share it with the person who filed the request and provide any necessary supports along the way. The process is entirely confidential. It's similar to Claire's Law, which has already been implemented in several Canadian provinces. Since the beginning of the year, there have been 10 suspected femicides in Quebec. Advocates, along with Quebec Solidaire, have been pushing for this bill.
This bill is an important step, but to prevent feminicide, it's not only one action, it's multiple actions.
For Rachel, she's hoping this bill will make a difference.
It makes it that my sister is not dead for nothing.
While there are details to be ironed out, opposition parties are in favor of the bill. The province hopes it gets passed and put in effect sooner than later. Sweeta Rassi, CTV News, Quebec City.
A dog has died of parvovirus. It's setting off alarm bells among veterinarians who are now urging pet owners to make sure their dogs' vaccines are up to date. Matt Gilmore reports.
At the Montreal SPCA, veterinarian Gabrielle Carrière says reports a dog has died of parvovirus are worrying.
It's very deadly. More than half of dogs that get sick, if they have no immunity, they will die if they get no treatment.
You would know a dog has parvo because he's vomiting and not feeling well. This one seems fun.
Parvovirus attacks the immune and digestive systems. It's common in Montreal, but Carrière says thankfully a vaccine exists and is effective. But for dogs without up-to-date shots, it's easily spread.
It's in the feces, so if an infected dog walks around, and it can leave some viral particles in the environment. So it's on the floor, it's outside, it's everywhere.
At the Girard Park Dog Run in NDG, these dogs are all protected, but their owners say it's still something to keep track of.
I think he was vaccinated. He gets vaccines every year. I think he is vaccinated for it, but I'd be scared that he gets it anyways.
I'm not really worried, no. It doesn't seem like there's an epidemic of it happening right now. But if there does, then maybe I'll be a little more worried.
Both say allowing their dogs to run around and socialize is important, but plan on double-checking with their vet. Carrière says so far this year, the SPCA has not seen any cases in dogs, but has already treated 16 cats with the virus.
The parvo that infects dogs can be transmitted to cats, but the ones that cats get cannot be transmitted to dogs.
For Carrière, the fact a dog has died in Montreal does not necessarily mean there's more of the virus around. It's not new and can live in the environment for up to a year. But she says it's an opportunity to get a message out that could save families from heartbreak.
To speak to your vet, have your vaccines up to date, and your animals should be fine.
Matt Gilmore, CTV News.
Police are looking for a driver who struck and killed a pedestrian and fled the scene. They plan to set up a command post Friday on Goyer Street in Côte-des-Neiges. A gray Honda Civic sedan hit a man who was crossing Goyer Street just before 1 on Sunday morning, April 26th. Police say the car headed east on Goyer, then went the wrong way down Darlington to flee the scene. Anyone with information is asked to call Info Crime. A Montreal lawyer is facing multiple sex-related charges, and police are looking for more possible victims. 72-year-old Danielle Rochefort was arrested after communicating with an undercover police officer who was posing as a 12-year-old girl. Police say Rochefort had accounts on several platforms using the name Danny Rock. He's also accused of sexual assault and making child abuse material. Well, the cost of appliances could go up this fall. That's when the final phase of Quebec's consumer protection bill comes into effect. Retailers in Quebec are calling for a delay. Matt Grillo reports.
This product would have to have a 6-year warranty.
Anthony Amiel is president of Corbeil Appliances. He's showing off some of the store's more affordable items, but these prices could soon look a lot different. The final phase of Bill 29, aimed at better protecting consumers, comes into effect in October. The law establishes a legal warranty of good working order.
Depending on the duration of warranty that is required, we think it'll be anywhere between a 10% to a 30% increase. It all depends on the quality of the build and how long the warranty will need to be honored for.
For stoves, fridges, and freezers, the warranty is 6 years. A washer, dryer, or dishwasher will have a 5-year warranty, 4 years for a TV, and 3 years for a laptop or cell phone. A coalition of appliance retailers wants a delay until 2027.
We think that the proposed warranty duration of 5-year or 6-year, depending on the product category, is particularly onerous. It would be amongst the highest in the world.
He says there is a lack of technicians to repair appliances, and with longer warranties, manufacturers could increase their prices. Those higher costs will be passed on to the consumer.
Manufacturers who need to honor a 5 or 6 year warranty will build in those potential costs into the base value of the product and the base price of the product that they sell to retailers and that retailers then sell to consumers.
Option Consommateur points out Bill 29 was passed in 2023, giving retailers years to prepare. Sarah-Ève Levac says Quebec already has legal warranty laws since 1978.
Now the legal warranty has no set period. So if I buy a fridge, the law says that it has to have a reasonable lifespan. And tribunals have said that it will be 10, 12, 15 years, depending on the fridge.
She says this new law helps with clarity.
The warranty of good working order will make it clear that a fridge has to work for 6 years. And this information will have to be given to consumers when they go to the store to buy their fridge.
CTV contacted Simon Jolin Barrette's office, who tabled the bill, but did not receive a comment by deadline. The coalition of retailers is not against Bill 29, but says it wants a meeting with Quebec and manufacturers to help protect consumers' purchasing power. Matt Grillo, CTV News.
From sprains to sore muscles, we're often told to ice an injury. But a new McGill study has found icing may actually make an injury worse. The study found adding cold and reducing inflammation also prevented some important biological functions. While inflammation is the body's way of telling you something is wrong, it's also a necessary step towards recovery. While icing can provide some immediate pain relief, the researchers found recovery takes longer and the pain lasts longer.
Inflammation is a thing we don't like, but inflammation is a thing that needs to occur because it's the inflammation that is setting into motion the series of events that ends up resolving the pain. If you block the inflammation from occurring, you're blocking the pain right now, but you're also preventing the inflammation from doing the thing that it was trying to do, which is resolve the whole situation and bring you back to normal.
The study was conducted using mice. A clinical trial is now underway in human patients. Well, there will be a class action suit against Amazon Prime. It's led by a Quebec man who claims the company is not meeting its promised delivery times. The lead plaintiff claims deliveries were late because Amazon closed all its warehouses in Quebec in January of 2025. The suit requests a refund for the Prime subscription or a discount, as well as punitive damages. The class action has been approved by Quebec Superior Court. The allegations have not been tested in court. Well, two popular bus lines connecting Vaudreuil to Montreal will continue running until the end of the month. The Transit Authority had announced the 91 and 40 express bus lines would be cancelled, but many weren't happy with the move. The change was part of a reorganization of bus networks in light of the REM going into service on the West Island this weekend. Well, a Canadian businessman and space visitor is making a $15 million donation to Concordia School of Engineering and Computer Science. The fund is expected to help train the next generation of space engineers. Stéphane Giroux has the story.
This is a very exciting day, and it's been a long time in the planning.
Mark Paddy is one of a handful of private citizens who bought a seat on the International Space Station 4 years ago. He's back home in Montreal to hand a $15 million check to Concordia University's School of Engineering.
My hope is that this institute helps them to go further than they would have thought possible, that it gives them the tools and the confidence to collaborate, to build, and ultimately to lead.
The endowment will create the Mark Paddy Institute. It will bring under one roof specialties in robotics, propulsion, human space health, and sustainability.
This institute will facilitate bringing together all those different elements of the school that in many cases already exist, but being able to channel them together into a new stream around space.
The space engineering students were invited to show their appreciation to Mark Paddy.
It's basically a dream for someone to go into space. But nowadays, with all the technologies, with all the support from the industry, from the government, and from the academia, I think that become a reality. So I think our students knew about it, and they will try their best to become the next astronaut. That's what they dream of.
I mean, this brings great attention to the university. Hopefully it inspires other people to think generously about us. And I think the reason why Mark has made this gift is because he recognizes that Concordia is a leader nationally in the field of space research and development at the university level and training.
For Concordia, it's one giant leap taken to train the next generation of space innovators. Stéphane Giroux, CTV News.
The astronauts from the Artemis II mission paid a visit to Parliament Hill today.
For us to be here, our first return to the country, a warm embrace of Canada that we felt from the extremes of the moon is just a real treat for us.
Canadian astronauts Jeremy Hansen and Jenny Gibbons, along with the rest of the Artemis crew, met with Prime Minister Mark Carney.
It's a big, big lesson, I think, for all Canadians of what teamwork does, what dedication does, what courage does, what human ingenuity is capable of, and that it's just the beginning. So welcome to Ottawa, and thank you for what you've already done. Thank you for inspiring us.
The Prime Minister was given a plaque bearing the Canadian flag that was on board the Orion capsule during the mission. Well, two new polls show a two-way race between the Liberals and the Parti Québécois, with the CAQ seeing some gains under a new leader. The Synopsis poll conducted for La Presse finds 30% of voters support the PQ and 30% back the Liberals. They're followed by the CAQ, up slightly to 18%, the Conservatives at 13% and Quebec Solidaire at 8%. Those numbers are very close to what was found by a Palace data poll for L'Actualité. It finds a similar result.
The poll has good news for us. It's been almost 3 years now with the PQ leading and being the favorite party for a majority of Quebecers. A part of that, we'll continue to work with conviction in preparing our offer to Quebecers.
I think it's a tight race between the Parti Québécois and us at 30%. I think the Quebecers are done with the CAQ. They have done so many damage when it comes to public services and the economy.
The Fréchette government is being criticized for not coming through on a promise made to help students. According to Quebec Solidaire MNA Gabie Renaud, the budget for student food assistance for the next academic year is below the anticipated level of inflation.
We're going to see less food served to students because the budgets are going to increase slower than the inflation rate. So you do not need to be an economist to understand that if your budget raises less than the inflation rate, you have at the end of the day less money for students, which is completely in contradiction with the promise that Madame Fréchette did, which was to protect students from future compressions.
Education Minister Sonia Lebel has responded, saying the budget for education is going up by 3% and that food aid will also come from community groups. When we return, getting up close to Celine's comeback dress in Montreal.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
Increasing number of abandoned buildings.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVMontreal.ca, your home for news.
As we heard earlier in Stéphane's report, a space institute is launching at Concordia thanks to a $15 million donation. The plan is to train the next generation of Canadian space engineers. And with me now is Mark Pathy, who gave this gift to Concordia. He's an entrepreneur, investor, and commercial astronaut. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So Mark, why did you want to fund a space institute and specifically at Concordia?
I didn't necessarily start out with the intention of funding a space institute. Since my mission and my greater involvement in the space sector, I've been very motivated to try and promote Canada's opportunities in the growing space economy. I felt that there was a lot of potential there that was unrealized. And it was just kind of destiny, I guess, that Concordia approached me with the idea of getting involved initially just with their existing smaller space program, and then with the creation of this institute. And it just very much aligned with my interests and my prior activities in the area. So we started talking, and here we are.
What exactly is going to be happening at the institute?
The institute will bring together a number of disciplines within the existing Gina Cody School of Engineering and Computer Science that are obviously already there, but will bring them together into a common stream around space that will obviously promote education and thereby talent development. Will create additional research space and funding for new technology and other space science initiatives. And as well a platform for collaboration with industry within Canada, and ultimately we hope for commercialization of some of that technology.
Is this going to be unique in Canada?
Yes, it is. It is unique in Canada. There's no other program within Canada currently that combines these elements, including robotics, propulsion, sustainability, and space health science. So this will be a first.
How do you see Canada's role in space looking in the future?
I think Canada has a lot of opportunity for participation in the growing space economy. We have a long-standing base of expertise in aerospace and robotics and AI, and of course we have a very solid education system. We have very talented, bright young people. And so I think that Canada is well poised to outperform in terms of their share of this economy relative to their share of the standard traditional global economy.
All right, that's so fascinating. All the best, Mark. Mark Pathy, thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
There's a growing concern too many Canadian households are carrying too much debt. Pat Foran reports.
According to the Office of the Superintendent of Bankruptcy, more than 37,000 Canadians either filed a consumer proposal or declared bankruptcy during the first 3 months of this year. That's an increase of 8.5% over the same period in 2025.
I'm not surprised by these numbers. We know that about half of Canadian households are living paycheck to paycheck, which means, they have no savings.
The Canadian Association of Insolvency and Restructuring Professionals says Canadians are carrying record amounts of debt. Many mortgages will come due this year at higher interest rates. Rising food and gas prices, along with other factors, are pushing some households to the brink. In about 80% of cases, clients choose a consumer proposal instead of bankruptcy, which allows them to have a fixed monthly payment and stops interest from accumulating.
Most of the time, they will pay less than what they owe. It's based on their budget and capacity to pay. And you keep your assets in a proposal. In a bankruptcy, you may lose assets.
Almost 14,000 people in Ontario filed consumer proposals and bankruptcy so far this year. That's almost a 15% increase over the year before.
The rate of increase in insolvencies is a lot worse in Ontario than it is in the rest of Canada because we are the engine of the economy.
Licensed insolvency trustee Doug Hoy says tariffs have been detrimental to Ontario and says increasing unemployment remains a concern.
I suspect that we will see a continued, perhaps gradual, but certainly increase in the number of personal insolvencies filed in Ontario for many months to come.
Hoyes recommends keeping debt levels low and to curb your expenses. Anyone facing financial hardships can seek the advice of a licensed insolvency trustee. There is usually no charge for the first meeting. Pat Foran, CTV News.
It was a draw today for CF Montreal. The team played at home against the Portland Timbers. Daniel Rios scored early in the game, followed by Wiki Carmona at the end of the first half. Portland's Cole Bassett tied the game in the second half. The final score was 2-2. The dress that Celine Dion wore during the opening of the Paris Olympics is coming to Montreal. The gown will be displayed at the McCord Museum in an exhibit called Celine in Dior. Dion wore the gown at the Eiffel Tower during her comeback performance in 2024. The gown has since been displayed in France and South Korea, and this will mark its North American debut.
We have many Dior dresses here actually from the very first decade of the house, from the 1940s and 50s. And so I've seen these haute couture garments up close, and it's always a pleasure to see a recent one and realize that the same quality of work is still being done. We wanted to feature not just the dress, but allow the public to really live the moment that made the dress an icon.
Menswear provided by Ernest. Elevate your style with Ernest. For breaking news and local news that matters to you, download the CTV News app right now by scanning the QR code on your screen using your smartphone. Or you can also go to our website, ctvnewsmontreal.ca.
A rare pygmy hippo has been born at the Berlin Zoo. The zoo released video of her. The hippo was born last weekend and hasn't been given a name yet. The birth is crucial for the endangered species, which has fewer than 2,500 adults remaining in the wild.
Weather brought to you by Gratian Scaff's 50th anniversary gift event. Get a complete second pair and sunglasses as a gift.
Well, don't put that umbrella away just yet. We have more rain on the way for Thursday, but we will be rewarded with a beautiful weekend ahead. Details in a moment. In terms of our temperatures, today was definitely on the chillier side, only hitting a daytime high of 10 degrees when we'd typically be at 19. Putting our futurecast into motion, we are dealing with the rain overnight into the early morning hours, with heavier rain right around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, this system is quite large. It could likely impact your morning commute in terms of needing extra time to get to your destination. We start to see that rain throughout the afternoon. We could see very few breaks in the rain, but we're expecting it to go into the evening. And then overnight, we do see that system sort of dissipate as we head into Friday. We start the day off with cloudy skies, but here's a big reveal. We will see some sunshine. So cloudy to start, and then we get the reward of that gorgeous sunshine that'll last all weekend long. Overnight, our temperature is 9 degrees, which is a little bit warmer than it should be, so we'll take that. We're expecting an additional 10 millimeters of rain overnight. And tomorrow, we wake up to 11 degrees. The rain starts fairly early, continues throughout the afternoon, and we could see another 10 millimeters of rain tomorrow, and once again, a cool 13 degrees. Here's a look at our longer range forecast, and I just want to highlight the fact that Saturday mostly sunny, Sunday mostly sunny. Both days we're looking at temperatures in the 20s, Monday as well. Next week we do have the risk of a thunderstorm and some rain, but at least we've hit the 20-degree mark.
Well, that's it for us. For the latest news, you can listen to the Andrew Carter Morning Show at 5 on CJD 800 or visit ctvnewsmontreal.ca. Have a good night, everyone. Take care.